Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Monday, January. Today is Monday, January 19th. I know it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Yes, the country, Black folks, we still are letting freedom ring louder than we need to let freedom ring like never before. Every voice needs to be lifted. And I really need to say nothing else. To kick us off this morning, we're going to go back about 3 years ago when we had the opportunity to curate an aggregation of singers from the city of Boston in collaboration with, at that, it was Embrace Boston. They converted over from King Boston to Embrace Boston. I was trying to find a clip. I have a few clips for us today just to celebrate MLK's life, the legacy, and more than ever before, what he called for, what he called out, and what even in his legacy he is still calling for us to do today. So do me a favor, if you have not liked and subscribed to Java with Jimmy on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, please go ahead and do so. And also consider sharing this with your friends and family and invite them. We are going to hear from MLK III, some thoughts on marijuana legislation. We're going to hear, now I will say, if you all remember, when the monument was dropped, there was a lot of commentary. And in the interview with him at the time of it, which was about 3 years ago, that topic came up. Very quickly, I just looked over on Instagram and I saw the president of the Hood, Darren Howell. He celebrated his birthday, I believe, on Friday, Saturday. Darren, happy birthday. You all do me a favor on Facebook. Go ahead and wish that good brother a happy birthday. Good to see him in the room this morning. So we're going to kick off this morning with our rendition of the Black National Anthem. And this was arranged by Brother Isaiah, and I can't remember his last name. Lord Jesus. Yes, but I did not arrange this. Actually, hold on. Start it over.
Till victory.
I just want y'all to know they took it to church. I remember. Shout out to everybody. I see Sharon Cornelius, pastor and tenor. Sharon Cornelius is in the room. And look, she's definitely encouraging herself and her colleagues in the tenor section. And yes, you all were singing. I mean, you all sang. You all sang. And the bass was it? She said the bass were cooking it. Yes, they were. Let them cook. Good morning to everybody in the room. If you're just joining us, we are here for a quick shot, just celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. With just some reflections over the past couple of years. We do have an interview with MLK III. I will say, as I said a few minutes ago, this was 3 years ago. And there is some response in there to, if you all remember when the Embrace dropped, there was a lot of commentary about the Embrace. And so some of that is in the interview. I may, when that part starts, just skip it a little bit, but in the context of the legacy of Dr. King, I wanted to play that interview. Also, I was surprised that there was a recap video of that event that you just saw. And I forgot Brother Amari. And I want to just acknowledge him. You're going to hear from him a few minutes later, a few minutes from now. But I want to thank him. Some of you saw the post that, I consider last night's Sneaker Ball Embrace Honors to be one of Black Boston's premier, probably one of the top Black Boston events. And Wisdom last week, I started to feel better on like Friday. I had to feel better on Friday because I had an event. But I started to feel better, really, really better on like Friday, Saturday. And there was no way in the world I was pulling off this mop and wig. I have a pair of customs on deck. The designer, I hit him up, I think on Wednesday and Thursday when I was contemplating seeing if I could pull off going to the Sneaker Ball yesterday. And I made a decision. The energy, the anxiety, running around, trying to get something to wear, and the sneakers were not red. The ones that were ready for me were not red. And I was not stepping out to the Sneaker Ball, which meant I would have had to go get another pair of white on white and get them to the designer and get them back. And they would have to flip them over 48 hours. Nope. And also, though I went out Friday, I have been, and it's so interesting to hear this word, but I've been isolating. I've already been chilling, but I ain't been going out pretty much anywhere with not feeling well. And I just, even though I went out Friday, I stayed out of folks' face. And also, there was a lot more people at that event. And there was a part of my decision where I was like, I'm not going. And yes, could I have wore a mask? Yes. I'm just going to keep it 100. Me at the Sneaker Ball with the mask on, that would have lasted for about 3 minutes. Because if you've been to the Sneaker Ball with me for the last, and I can't believe I missed last night. I'll just say that the running after the first year, it was an observation. Year 2 and year 3, it was an expectation and a joke. Let's just say I walked around like this. And so, yeah, and a conversation, and I'll keep it all the way 100. I had to snicker at this the other day. If someone, came up with the okey doke and the fake and hi, good to see you. I'm not in a space where I'm going to be able to do it back. And especially if I know that like you're out there dragging me, and whatnot and stuff. Yeah, no, no. So I had to snicker the other day and kind of laugh and say, anyway, so in the spirit of peace and the dream let's continue in honoring the life of Dr. King. Just coming off of that event, let's just go. And I forgot, and this is a good topic to flip to. I forgot that brother Amari, I brought him up a few minutes ago to talk about the sneaker ball, all of that other to say, to thank him, because when I saw him Friday, I said, bruh, I can't pull it off. And he said, well, listen, we're going to leave your name, leave your ticket. You can change your mind up until the last minute. Just come if you feel like it. And so, Amari, thank you and his team over at Embrace Boston, all of the sponsors and everyone that was a part. A lot of people, it was their first, and that is a little frustration because there's a lot of folks that it was their first time, and I know it would have been just nice to see them there, and just it is a very nice event. It is a very, very nice event, and it's new at a new venue. And so anyway, we're going to continue just a little bit off of the event we just did with the choir. And I forgot, brother Amari at the unveiling asked me to pray. I forgot about that. So here's just a little clip of that recap for those of you that were not at the unveiling a couple of years ago.
I'm just so grateful to give something back to the city that gave me so much.
And whenever I've come to Boston in the past, I've always felt a powerful bond of solidarity.
Shout out to Brother Walk that made that happen for us. A recap, the Voices of Embrace. That was a great aggregation of some folks, some singers from the city of Boston. That was a spinoff from the Gospel Fest aggregation that we put together in 2022. And again, shout out to the good brother Newt. He hit me up and he said, "Hey, you still got that group of folks together from the Gospel Fest?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, we want them to sing at the Embrace unveiling." And I was like, "Really?" And Dina is always starting trouble. Dina is always starting trouble. Shout out to brother New, Amari, and others, because Sharon can attest. All the singers got $100 for their time and being a part of history, and also the musicians were well taken care of. And so the Voices of Embrace, that was that aggregation of folks from the city of Boston, and there may be some opportunities coming in. There was supposed to be coming back together of some things, but we're not good. Why am I being shady this morning? I think it's just the liberty and the liberty is part of today's celebration. When I tell you who Wednesday's guest is, and I think maybe that's why I didn't tell you. What did you hear? Text me and tell me, Dina, what you heard. Who's Wednesday's guest? All right. So we're going to play the interview where there's some things in there that were timely to things going on at the time. Shout out to Sister Pam over on IG, as well as Dr. Monica Hall over there. Okay. And Coach Law as well, Dr. Law. And Bobby is over there from the Record Code. We saw Darren Rich. JD, check my glasses. It's in the Word Ministries. All right. And Mama Java over there. I guess I will say hello to folks over in the Facebook section. Sister Debbie, Jenny, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Alagro, Sharon, Donna, who else? I saw Nicole. Opal, good morning to you. Dina, I'll tell you about Wednesday's guest in a second. My sister Nakia is in the room. Good morning. Susie, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Beaver, Good morning, Cheryl. Good to see you in the room. Pam's on 2 platforms. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. So let's play just a little bit. Well, let's play the interview with MLK III. And again, and I met the brother that he's referring to. And the brother's been here for Embrace, and he was here for the NAACP convention. And just some context into, yeah, to what, hi, Beaver. I'm just going through names. Yes, you are, Lord Jesus. One of the first adopted by our family. Okay, I got a couple of texts here. Hold on, is everything okay with the sound and stuff? Y'all scared me. Shout out to the good brother Steve. And he knows who he is, and I'll just leave that right there. Dina is reminding us that 121 is Act of Kindness Day in her memory. And so Dina and I were brought together by who I would call my political mother, Sister Marie Marshall. Oh God, if she was here now, good God from Zion. I'll leave that right there. All right, we're going to stay focused. Here's the interview with MLK III.
Now you talk about equity within the cannabis industry. Can you correlate that with your parents' vision, the cannabis industry and their vision of equity? How would you correlate that?
So I would say, first of all, and it's good to see you again, particularly just a week later, almost after the dedication of the statue Embrace.
Yes, sir.
And also to have seen you really lead the performances of the music, which we all are connected to.
Yes, sir.
It was a phenomenal experience to be there. Connecting equity to cannabis. Cannabis is a brand new business, and there are ground floor opportunities for the communities of color, and for Black folks specifically. It's kind of interesting because I have a unique perspective because I'm not advocating for or against.
Right.
However, our country is moving in a direction where, number one, cannabis is legal. Unfortunately, our community also is leading those who have been incarcerated.
Yes, sir.
And as was said this evening, everyone who's in jail for, weed and marijuana needs to be exonerated. I mean, because it's not illegal anymore. It was illegal at one time. But also there's many medicinal effects.
Absolutely.
Of cannabis comes in a lot of forms. I've heard so many stories of how people's lives have been transformed. So we've got to open ourselves up in terms of our thinking, because we automatically are thinking negative as opposed to what is the positive aspect.
Yes, sir.
That can be embraced as it relates to cannabis, and how do we make sure that Black folk, this industry that's going to evolve and is becoming a multi-billion-dollar industry as it is being launched. How is it that we are involved in every aspect?
Yes, sir.
So that we are workers, we are owners at every avenue, and that's when you talk about equity, that's what equity is about, because we would become consumers in a real sense. I think we were unfairly targeted because we were not the leaders, but we've been targeted, so we're in jail right now.
Yes, sir.
And that needs to be, that must be addressed.
Absolutely. You use the term embrace, and I would not have the opportunity to speak with you, to talk with you about your impression of the embrace. I'm sure you're well aware one of your wife's family members put out
well, we don't, first of all, I'm not going to discount that. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
My opinion.
As their son, your opinion about the
embrace. My
embrace.
opinion is it's a beautiful sculpture, and it represents something to me in terms of my mom, in a sense, lifting up my dad. It does not have to be a picture. Everything does not have to be a picture image of what you want. I mean, that's why art is subjective. Everybody has a different opinion.
Yes, sir.
And the people are missing the point that the Boston Commons, which was the first official park in the United States, and mostly has lifted up white folk.
Keep it real,
So
sir.
you got a black couple who personified love and peace, and that's what it represents. And hopefully people in the future will be becoming children and will get and be able to derive inspiration and not looking at the negative aspect. If you choose to look at that, that's your opinion.
Yes, sir.
You know, I said on Don Lemon's show the other day something that my wife and daughter said I maybe should not.
And your daughter was amazing the other day. We have to say that.
Thank you. But I said, you know, opinions are like butts. Everybody got one. So,
Mr. King,
you
your
can have
team-
your opinion,
It's a
and that's
wrap.
fine.
Your team is ready for us to go, and we don't want to get him started. I really appreciate you, sir, to meet you again. Thank you for the compliment for the choir, and thank you for carrying on the legacy of your parents, and thank you for carrying on, and you understand this with all due, your own legacy, sir.
Thank you. Let me come back to this.
Yes, sir.
Because my daughter said something that day.
360?
There you go.
What?
So embrace, and what this is what out of a child's eye. No one said this. No one has said it. It's 360.
360 of love.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Let's take it
And
to the
that's what
word.
we have to keep saying. It's 360
Yes,
love.
sir.
Even if you may have seen something else, when you think about it, and see the other thing is people are reacting who are not here. They hadn't physically seen it. They're looking at various pictures
And angles.
and angles. But if you look at it in totality, you hopefully see something different.
360 of love.
Yes.
Mr. King, thank you.
All right.
I appreciate
All right.
you,
Bless
sir.
you.
Thank you very much. I
Thank you.
received that.
That was definitely, and I'm getting good. As much as I mess up with tech often, that edit worked out good because at that time, you know, whatever. But the essence of what he was talking about was the 360 of love. And Dr. King's message today, you know, every day for any marginalized group has been relevant since he said the words that he said. However, today the sentiment, the spirit, and the law of his words are needed to be enacted on and everything like that. So we're going to get ready to wrap up this morning. It's 10:33, and we're going to close out with, some of you may have seen a post I put up of an edit of some of the conversation that took place at the kickoff of the City of Boston's MLK weekend that took place on Friday at Suffolk University. I was honored to be the host and got to sit with Senator Liz Miranda, Amari Parrish Jeffries, Rasan Hall, Katrina Huff Lordman from Randolph, also Grizel from the Governor's Commission on Women, and also who was sitting right to the, Sister Kayla, that I got to introduce, that is also related to Brother Joey Bennett. So that was a great event. And I actually, without the edit, have that more recent, everything that's been said so far today is relevant, but this was on Friday. And, you know, the conversation with MLK the third, Amari's comments a few moments ago, those were pre what we've seen in the last year. And so these comments today at the kickoff, I think are very, very relevant. And so let's just get that set up for you here. And we will share them with you in just a second. Where is what I want? There we go. Okay. So here are the comments from Friday at the ACLU's kickoff event, along with their partners, Embrace Again, and also the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. And there's a clip in here. Now, I was well into recording Brother Rasan. And he, you know, and Black Joy is a part of getting through the struggle. And when I tell y'all we cut up on that stage, oh my God, we cut up on that stage something terrible. Amari, Rasan, the three of us were the main culprits. And then the senator, you know, she got in on some stuff, but she was sitting a little bit off to the side. So I had Amari next to me, Rasan behind me. Then let me tell y'all what happened. So in church, I've expedited. I've put services together. I've expedited for other people. And throughout the years, have there been times where either me and or the pastor or whoever put the service together knew that it was time for the person that was up to sit down. I remember one particular elected official in their preaching role was up at Mama Nellie's service and was talking too loud. I was talking too long, and Bishop Alfred Owens said, "That's enough, son. That's enough, son." So, but never ever have I been at a community public. Well, some speak outs in community meetings. It was some time for some folks to sit down. But somebody looked at me and said, and I was like, and I stood up, and they didn't get the message. And then I had to walk up on them. And then, was it Rasan? Rasan! There was a pause in one of the comments, and I don't remember what Rasan said, but it was something equivalent to, "All right, that's it." So, yeah, we cut up on that stage something terrible. But in all seriousness, here is the full not the full, but what I was able to record from Tracy Griffith. There is about 15 seconds of a prayer in here. Pastor Dixon, let me tell y'all, that man prayed, and he wasn't unseemly and, speaking in tongues and all that other stuff. But when I tell you, you can tell that man prays consistently. I mean, just straight to the point. And at one point, my shoulder said, okay. So yeah, that's in there too. But listen to the words from Tracy, who is she was on last week, the director of racial equity, racial justice program at the ACLU, Reverend Dixon, Senator Miranda Amari, and then Rasan as well. Kayla's I did not get to record, and I'm not happy about that. But all right, here we go. Why this playing, Jesus? Okay. We may have to come back to that in a second. Okay, let's see what happens. All right, we're going to take it out and put it back in. Aggie. All right. Let's see what happened and try to upload it again. What did did I cancel the download? Hold on. I may have because I uploaded it twice, so I may have canceled the download, but we're going to do it right now. Okay, we're going to get it in just a second and bring that to you because those words are definitely important. Let's go to the comments and check in real quick while we're waiting for that to upload. Obi is in the building, Boston's photographer. I saw you outside this weekend. Good to see you, brother. Blessings your way. While I'm waiting for that file to upload, to answer Dina's question, Wednesday, we will speak with Corey McCarthy, who is the Student Support Services for the City of Boston. We're going to talk about what's going on. I believe I don't want to say his name, but there is a lot of chatter on social media about a student that, from all that I've been able to gather from some officials, not officials, social media consistency in themes. The main thing that has come out is that this young man some people older than him could have maybe helped him avoid being in a situation where he can't play. And so we're going to talk with Corey McCarthy about that on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. And so that is my guest on Wednesday, Dina. Did I say that there was going to be anybody else this Wednesday? I don't think so. I think there's somebody that I was supposed to follow up with. Okay, is this the one? Come on. Where is is it still? This thing is getting on my nerves, y'all. Oh, there. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay. I think we got it now.
To declare our unity and our collective action in the face of political uncertainty. On this day, 1 year later, we are more certain than ever that choosing community over chaos, continuing to stand together and fight the ever-growing efforts to take our country backwards is necessary to the survival of our democracy. We vow to continue to live Dr. King's vision for a society rooted in dignity, justice, and equality.
To be with this program, we pray for all of the dignitaries and all of those that are visiting and those that are coming to support this program in any way. Let them realize, Father God, that it's not just this day, but each and every day of our life, but truly every day is a day of thanksgiving.
And I think about last week when the ICE officer murdered Renee Good just because she was trying to drive around him. Other ICE officers were recorded since then saying to bystanders, citizens, didn't you learn from what happened? Then we have Ramesa, a year ago, was abducted off the street for writing a pro-Palestinian op-ed. The government's actually following through on the promise of the war against our immigrant communities. They told us they were going to do this, and they're doing the exact thing that they told us. And while I'm outraged, upset, sad, I'm also a little scared. And it's very hard to scare a Roxbury girl. Because it feels like our country's falling apart.
It started here. And so we celebrated big in Massachusetts for so many reasons. And their love story is one of the reasons why we kick off the semi-quincentennial. So I wrote a little piece because I've been thinking about the turmoil in the world. So it's a short spoken word piece that I wrote thinking about this occasion.
Interruption. We speak King's names as settled history, black and white, corners folded, filed away. We remember the comfort of his words and forget the pressure of his demands. But memory is not a resting place. Memory is a tool meant to disturb the present. History makes this plain. Power, when left undisturbed, does not soften. It refines itself. It learns how to apologize without yielding. It learns how to survive exposure. America has always been fluent in violence. What changed
subjugates others to the will and desires of those who believe themselves to be white. It has used Christianity and violence, the law and capitalism to execute that plan. Despite the prowess of this endeavor, those of us who have been marginalized and oppressed have always resisted and fought back and, more importantly, thrived. The rhetoric coming from this highest office in America and the administration's embrace of white supremacist iconography and language may be jarring to many of us. They're saying the things that many of us believe they have been true as their true feelings and motivation of those in power, to restore the country to a romanticized state of glory that has never truly existed and certainly could not come close to existing without the presence, the contributions, and sacrifices of those not included in that vision. Black folks, queer folks, immigrants, poor people, Native, Latinx, and other people of color, as well as the diversity of believers from a multitude of religions, none of whom are conceptualized in the image of American progress, a painting that require desperation to function. You cannot claim justice while defending those systems. You cannot claim freedom while millions live one crisis away from ruin. Where do we go from here? This is the revolution of values that King demanded. One that defends democracy, that demands diversity and defeats poverty, not in spite of those who have survived oppression, but because of them. We have always done this out loud, and we will never be quiet.
Oh, Brother Hassan did his good preaching. He did his good preaching. So that was just a recap of the words from the folks on Friday's kickoff event for MLK weekend. The last part of that, I believe, is this evening with the Boston Children's Chorus. Shout out to Brother Andres and his team over at the Boston Children's Chorus. They've been doing this for a few years, and I believe this is either the first or second year that Embrace, Brother Andres, and what is the other big event? The YMCA breakfast that I think was on Thursday or Friday. And then also there's the big breakfast that takes place, I believe, at the convention center this morning. So shout out to everybody that's a part of that. We had one of the blackest summers in Boston's history. And this weekend is a continued iteration of that. You know, in a few weeks, despite what's going on with erasing our history, February, the shortest month of the year, is designated and set aside to celebrate Black history. And so we're going to February. And then, you know, we have Memorial Day. There's a huge context of us all in there. And then there's Juneteenth. And then there's Juneteenth #2, AKA the 4th day in the month of July. That's what I call it, Juneteenth too now. So anyway, we're going to get ready to go. I don't know why I was being so shady today. Y'all pray for it, brother. Okay. We're going to wrap up. Thank all of you for being here this morning. We will be here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Testimony Tuesday. And on Wednesday, as I said before, Corey McCarthy will be with us. 2 weeks from Wednesday, we will speak again with Mayor Michelle Wu on the 4th at 10 a.m. And then on the 5th, we will be back at WGBH for GBH Amplifies James Jimmy Hills, host of Java with Jimmy. That's it for me in announcements. I will have an update soon about what's going to happen for our 6th anniversary. That is on March 24th, technically. So I will know more about that later. Keep you abreast of that. That's it for announcements. And I did. Never mind. I don't want to get in trouble. So, okay. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Have a great day, everybody. And remember the dream. Though things seem like a nightmare right now, the dream is very much relevant. We have achieved part of the dream, and that's why the dreamers are being fought so hard. That's why those who have believed in the dream and fought for the dream and still fighting for the dream and have reinvigorated their fight in the dream around this nightmare is so important. So keep your activists and your advocates and your equity folks, keep them strengthened, keep them in your prayers, thank them, because it is a very interesting space. People that fight for equity and policy. And Monday's not over. And there's a miracle that needs to take place in Roxbury. And I believe that the miracle of P3 on this MLK weekend needs to take place in Roxbury. We can have a wonderful municipal BPS facility, and the developers, I'm sure, will be open of the BioLab, HYM, and My City at Peace. I'm sure they'll be open to if there needed to be some adjusting based on what's going on with the economy, with commercial buildings, and also the biotech industry. Mm-hmm. So have a great morning, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.